Originally, I'm from Kenya, born and raised. Grew up in the village, family of 7 kids, and I always tell people, you see one of those kids who are naked with a big belly because they're malnourished, that was me. So I tried to basically renew my visa while I was trying to figure out what else I could do. Eventually someone said to me, you gotta go back home, and for me that was so hard to be able to go back to my peers. It felt like a failure because someone said, listen, you never know what God has in plan for you, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go, but it was the last thing I wanted to do. While I was in Kenya, I actually met Kenny, one of the brothers, and they had come to a church there that I used to go to as missionaries, and that's how I got to know him. We got to talk, and so he said, hey, listen, if one day you ever come to America, let me know, I'll give you a job doing gutters. No idea what gutters were. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, as long as I'm in America making dollars. And 2001, here I was, and he found me, and he said, hey, you ready to work? And I said, sure.
First thing people ask you is like, oh, what does he do? And it wasn't like a pride thing or anything. My honest to goodness answer, and I really felt like this is true, I was like, oh, he works for this really upscale gutter company. That's what I used to always say. Like, they do really good work, like specialty stuff. Mm-hmm. And that was just my impression just because of what I had seen of the company and of how he spoke of them, and that's just what I always said. This culture that they had created here where people actually like to work and like want to work for them and like don't want to disappoint their bosses. And I remember him coming home and be like, I have to read this book. I don't understand. So here I am, like, reading books with him and helping him do reports and watching his confidence increase and his pay raises and his pay's going up, and it was just like, wow.
One of the things that I think was unique was while I was working for Ryan and Kenny, and I had an opportunity to actually step up, and this is, I think they were just introducing the skills ladder. I used to be just the guy who came in, I was just the apprentice, and my responsibilities were the same, day in, day out. I mean, year in, year out, I was just the guy who made the downspouts, you know, the guy who cleaned up and whatnot. But there was always a sense of what else is there? What else is there? I mean, is this what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? And then I remember, Kenny saying, we have this idea that one day we're going to be able to empower the people who work here, and they could be able to, chart their own course and be able to, empower themselves that they could be independent and be able to have their own company someday. And that, it's one of those things that, we're just a gutter company. That sounds really nice. I don't see that happening. I'm approaching how old I was, 37 at the time. And I knew that I can't do this for the rest of my life, climbing up and down the ladder. And I said, I think we want to start our own.
Yeah, and I'm all about not reinventing the wheel, like somebody's already had to have done this, right? So I said, well, let's not reinvent the wheel here. Let's sit down with Ryan and Kenya and see what they have to say. There's nothing better than sitting down as like really he's the top installer now. I think they had 4 trucks at the time, and you're sitting down with the owners, and they could have very easily said, we can't lose you, Jimmy, and just given us this, just stick where you're at, stick with us. But they said, let's go. We were like, this doesn't seem right. What do we need a contact center for? Just little things, like every little thing that we thought, this is going to make us sink because it's too much money, or what if, and all the head trash comes in, and you're hashing out all these details, and it's so crazy when I think now, I'm like, we couldn't live without their support. We couldn't live without the contact center. We couldn't live without all these things that we worried about or we fought them about initially.
But there was always that sort of sense of a fear of failure.
We ran into a lot of people who had negative ideas of what being a franchisee meant, right? So it meant being micromanaged. It meant paying ridiculous royalties that you could keep in your pocket. Huge steps of faith, and just knowing that we felt like this is the way that God was leading us. I look around and I see the people that are being drawn into the franchise now, and I think, wow, what assets, it's such a neat thing to keep building the community.
I was able to talk to some people, and I remember 2 guys who I actually initially hired who left their jobs because they grabbed onto the vision of what what the company could be for them. Not right now, but maybe 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years from now. Skills ladder, skills ladder, skills ladder. Oh man, if there's anything that the franchisors have developed that has made those who follow it and follow the system work, is the skills ladder. Within literally, I think, 5 months, I was completely out of the field.
But I think we kept going to these guys and they kept giving us the next piece, the next piece, the next piece, and like each one was just a next step, a next step. Every single thing that we somewhat, questioned or fought them against, when we stepped into it, I mean, we just flourished. It was just amazing. It was so neat to see. Just little by little, we're becoming business owners, right? Little by little, we're learning enough to stand on our own 2 feet.
We wanted to replace ourselves from every position to a point where we'll be completely independent, where we can step away from the business and the business being able to run itself. So we were on a race to replace ourselves from every position that we had been in, just not us working in the business, but working on the business.
That seemed impossible the first year, the first 6 months, the first 8 months. And now all of a sudden it's like faster than we ever anticipated. Not that we're free, but don't get me wrong, I mean, the business still needs us, but wow. And it's so incredible to be standing where we are now and know that we are managers now. We're owner managers. It's really the people that make it, right? It's sewing into people that makes it awesome, and there's a whole culture of that in Brothers Gutters.
Sometimes I see these people who have been in business for 10, 15, 20 years coming to me for advice because they see how we are doing it and that we have fast forwarded and surpassed them. I'm giving them information on how to market it and how to recruit and all that stuff.
To be in a position 3 years in where we feel like we have something to offer to others, that's just incredible to me. So
that it's not just fluff, it's not just talk. Here is the proof.